Hope everyone's having a blessed morning. I'm having a blessed morning. Yes. Yeah, man. So these platforms, they are there to talk about how we killing each other, and they are actually promoting this way of life. They promoting it. So once you promote it, you are giving thousands of dollars. You're not talking about, you shouldn't be doing this, change the narrative. You're not going to do that because they're not going to pump your channel. If you're talking up against this way of life, which is plaguing us, this gangster persona life, right? So you're going to be met with stuff like this, where I don't get a lot of views. I get maybe 40 views, if that, 100 or something like that. I only get close to 100, which is fine to me because let's get into this. Please like, share, subscribe to this channel, which is geared towards the victims. To those victims of dealing with child abuse. To those victims that deal with being abused. Those victims are being molested. Those victims are being raped. And dealing with these pedophiles. Each and every day. I want to bring awareness of being beaten with honor cords at its finest. We don't talk about this in our communities. We do talk about it, but we really don't talk about it. Being beaten with honor cords. And this is something that went on for a very, very long time, being beaten with honor cords and being beaten with extension cords. Being beaten with extension cords, it was a go-to for us growing up when we misbehaved as a child. Now, a child don't know any better. They don't know they misbehaving. They just doing childish things. They have not developed the ability to understand right from wrong. Right? So it's always going to be stumbling upon things that we don't know. When you're stumbling, when you're a child, it shouldn't be met with you being beaten, okay, with extension cords, telling you to go into the bathroom, take a shower, and whip you and beat you with extension cords, leaving big whelps on you so that you can't go to school for like a whole week because these extension cords whipped you and cut your skin, cut deep into your skin. This was practiced amongst our parents. This was practiced in school. This was practiced in summer camp. And all of these major programs that they had, the adults were allowed to beat and abuse the children. This is actually true fact. But I'm not just talking about school, right? That's going to be another topic. What I'm talking about, being beaten in your household for eating a bowl of cereal or eating the last sandwich that you were starving and hungry. You was beaten and told to go on the actual true fact. This is an actual true fact. Being beaten and tell you to go into the dark. Go into the closet. Parents was beating their children with extension cords and with bats and with buckles. This is what they was doing. You was venturing out somewhere inside the apartment, right, where these adults was partying or whatever they was doing. You don't know what you're doing. You was beaten mercifully. These things need to be put in the forefront. These things need to be talked about, because nobody talks about this in our community, how this was abusive and beating your children, beating the living daylights out of them. This was abuse that was passed down from their parents onto them and then onto us. And right now, you still have children being beaten to death, being starved to death, being victimized to death, being molested to death. Over and over and over and over and over again, that the child is traumatized. I know there's some people, get in my comments, I know there's some people right now that still got some of those whelps on them from the extension cords. You're being beaten in the shower. I know you still got some of those whelps on you from the extension cord that your parents or your mother beat you with. When you just was 5 years old, 6 years old, 8 years old, 7 years old. You didn't even reach a stage of puberty yet. For boys, it's from 12 to 13. From girls, it could be from 6 to 9. It starts from 6, I think, to 9 from them. Their puberty hits earlier, a little earlier than boys. But nevertheless, from 1 to 13, we are met with this abuse. We are met with what? Being sexually assaulted by these predators and child molesters. And these things are being swept underneath the rug in our communities. There's a lot of this going on that's not being met. And it starts within the home. It starts within the home. It starts with family and friends. This is where they start. This is where this abuse start. Yes. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. This is why I built this platform. Because I am a victim. I am a victim of being molested, right? Over and over and over and over again. And people can say, yo, how did you overcome this obstacle? Very dark obstacle. How can you stand here and sit here having platforms, having 153 jobs in your life, and conquering some of these traumas and depression? How did you turn your life around? It wasn't easy, beloved. It wasn't easy turning my life around for having child abuse, beaten with iron cords and extension cords and buckles and everything that these adults can get their hands on, being abused. And beaten and traumatized. Molested on top of that. It wasn't easy. I went to alcohol. I went to violence. I went to cigarette. That was my go-to. That was my go-to. There was no sanctuary there. There was no community there. There was nothing there for me to talk to. But only my friend. My imaginary friend. I went to my imaginary friend, and then I went to drugs. I mean, not drugs. I went to weed and cigarettes and violence. This is where I went. That was my go-to. To inflict pain on other people that had no dealing with me. That was my objective, is to inflict pain on everybody on society. Do you know how it feels to be a child and being beaten with an extension cord, whipped, and can't go to school for like maybe a week or 3 days, 2 days, or however many days when you heal up because they don't want ACS? They don't want to catch an ACS case? Why you don't want to catch an ACS case? Why? You don't want the public to know, the teacher to know that you're beating me with extension cords? That I'm traumatized to this day? And I'm not the only one. There's other victims out there. Come forth. This channel's for you. This is why I built this platform for victims against pedophiles, rapists, child molesters, child abusers, drunks, drug addicts that's beating children mercifully, beating them, killing them, murdering them, raping them. These sick, demonic, evil, twisted, barbaric demons of a parent, of a family member, of a loved one, of a friend. The child wants to commit suicide. The child wants to get away from you. You beating them, starving them, beating them, put them in the closet, put them in the corner for hours and hours. You ate the last bowl of cereal, go in the corner and beat you for eating the last bowl of cereal. I want you to think about that. Think about it. Think about it. Being beaten with extension cords. You having big whelps on your face and your back. Break the generational curse. It's a curse that's upon us, that been passed down from generation and generation and generation by being beat with extension cords. Extension cords.